Hello, welcome to my 4B Golden Strawberry Guide. So, this first screen, there's nothing really much going on. There's nothing really to talk about. So, it's not too tough. So, this screen, once you get used to it, it's not too bad either. I've seen a lot of people online use this strat. But personally, I prefer doing this. I find it more consistent. Essentially, just jump over it and dash up. So on this screen, there's a stamina section over to the top right, but I like to skip it. And the strategy looks really precise and tricky, but with the setup I use, it's actually pretty easy. So I prefer to do that instead. So from this bubble, I hold grab and just point diagonally, and it puts me at this spot right here. This spot is actually perfect. You don't want to climb up from here. You just want to hold grab and point diagonally when you're in the bubble and then let go. So then once you're here, you just jump to this point right here. And it looks really hard, but from this spot, you just hold X, hold jump, while pointing right, and you should get to it pretty much every time. So like this. Then just jump over and finish the rest. So this is kind of an annoying screen, and there's no real way to make it easier. So right here, you don't have to lower the block after this jump to dodge this crystal. And that's pretty much how you do it. So for this room, I basically jump from this block to the wall to my left right as it's entering the crystal wall, so that I'm right there at the right timing. And once I enter the bubble above me, I press left right as it's bursting so that I don't fall into the crystals. So it pretty much goes like that. Oops. Let me redo that. So pretty much like that. Maybe a little bit later in the spike wall, like that. So that's pretty perfect. So for this room, there's nothing really special you can do. Straight dash, diagonal dash, straight dash here. I like to hold grab here, so that if ever that happens, I won't fall. And yeah, pretty much that's it. So for this room, you can either go to the wall here and go like that. Alternatively, and this is for some reason what I prefer to do, I just go to this wall, hop twice, and go over. Do a little hop there, and then yeah, you just... Okay, this room. This room's pretty hard. To show this room a bit more clearly, I switched to my file with variant mode to slow down the speed of the game a bit. Beginning of the room, there's really nothing of note to say. Just practice it, because it's kind of hard. Then from here, you have to grab the side of the block. You don't have to be at the very top of it with the strategy I employ. What I like to do is I'll hop to the wall on my right, and then to the ball to my left, and that will save me a lot of stamina, and it just makes this whole section right here easier. So like this. A really common mistake that I personally did here. Oh, not that. Not used to this speed. Is to jump too late like that and just kind of hit your head on the platform to your, on the crystals to your right. So make sure you. That was a bit late too, but yeah, make sure you head to the wall on your right pretty quickly. At full speed, this is what it looks like. So definitely practice this room a lot because it's pretty hard. Try to do it until you can pull it off 5 times in a row, and that should be good enough. So for this room, there's cycles, so there's a lot of timings to memorize. Well, not too much actually, but essentially what I like to do, and there's probably plenty of ways to do it, but this is what works for me. I pretty much jump right when the spring is near like those white stones in the background, like pretty much right before it's over the gem. And I kind of do like this. I land on the platform, and then I bounce on the spring twice, then I dash up. Oh, let me redo that. Shouldn't have paused. So yeah, bounce on the spring twice, get the gem, and then dash up back onto the spring. Like this. Dash left. Okay, so for this section, I will jump when it's stopped here on the right. Okay, let me just get my dash back. So now, dash diagonally, and you'll land on the spring, and just keep pointing diagonally, and you'll hit the block after dashing. I like to hold grab here just in case I land on the left side of the platform. And then I just dash up from there. There's no special strategy for this room, so just do it the way you would expect to. Not really that bad. So for this room, I found 2 ways to do it. The regular way is like that. If you don't like that up dash for some reason, you can also mash the dash button once you enter the bubble while pressing diagonal, and you should make it over the spikes. So that looks like this. So it's mash here. You get pretty close to the spikes, but never usually hit them. Just make sure you mash hard enough. Okay. There's definitely many ways to do this one. The way I preferred is to go when this platform is lowering, back onto it, then to the third one. So here, I like to jump when this platform is at the very top. And make sure you don't dash too early. If not, you'll hit your head on the spike wall to my left. And that happened pretty often to me, actually. So be careful. Oops. So So this one I struggle a lot with. Just because the strategy I use requires a lot of setup, and if I miss time anything, I'm pretty much screwed. But I still found it to be pretty good because it makes the last part of the room pretty easy. So this is how it goes. I will duck here, then diagonal dash onto this platform without grabbing. So I'll land on top of it and activate it then. Then I'll jump and dash right, grabbing the next platform. And this is the formation I want, pretty much. From here, I'll walk, let me redo that. I'll walk left. And the rest of it should be pretty straightforward. I land on top of it and I duck. So for this one, I like to grab the cloud first, get it out of the way, fall immediately, then go as far left as you can. Then the instant that the platform gets past the spike wall, jump and do like that. Jump and dash left onto the wall. Then try to very quickly get it to the opening. Get to the cloud, diagonal dash onto it. Then from here, there's two ways I found that you can do it. Regular way, or, and you see I kind of missed it there because I'm not used to that method actually. If you're comfortable with wall bounces, and this is the method I preferred, you can wall bounce off the wall, and I don't know, I just found that more consistent personally. Like if I don't, it doesn't matter if I miss the timing on my cloud jump, it makes it every time. Okay. In this room, there's two ways to do these first two bubbles. You can dash downward, you can go diagonally down, and then dash up like this. Or, and this is what I did, though I don't know if it's really any easier, I would dash diagonally down and then diagonally up to the right. And the way I did it is I would basically dash out of the bubble quickly, and that would basically make it so that I basically have to memorize, like muscle memorize the speed at which I then do the diagonal dash after. It's pretty much as quickly as you can. So like this. Like that. Oops. Like this. And it works pretty well, but I'm sure other people might prefer the other method. So here, what I like to do is I look at the background, and I like to dash when I reach kind of this opening in the wall. Then go up, dash right, and then what I'd like to do here is I'm to go to the bubble, I already am pressing, instead of pressing right, I'll already press diagonal up, so that once I enter the bubble, I'm already pointing in the right direction. So like this. Yeah. So for this room, I like to enter it from the previous room and start immediately so that I have a predictable win cycle. I jump and dash at the start. Then I go through clouds. It's not too bad, but a bit stressful because it's pretty late into the run. Oops. Yep, that sucks. Okay, so here there's kind of two ways to do it. you can kind of stay on the cloud and kind of bounce on it as you're waiting for the right wind cycle. Another way you can do it is you use your dash to get to this side. Almost fell there. And then you just wait out the wind cycle like this. Did it a bit late there, but you can redo it. Oops. And then go when the wind stops. Okay, this room. So at first I thought this would be the hardest room to do in the Golden Run, but it's actually not the worst because of a little trick in the middle of the room that makes it a little bit easier. You can do it like that, or you can let the cloud bounce you like this. But I prefer to jump off it. So the trick essentially is that I want to land on the left side of the next cloud so that when I bounce off it, I don't even need to dodge the next spike wall. I just basically send directly up. I don't even need to move at all. So like this. Then yeah, I do have to dodge the next spikes. But definitely that makes the hardest aspect of it a lot easier. This next part is not too bad. Alright. So unfortunately this is probably one of the trickier rooms. And it's pretty far into the run, so yeah, pretty stressful. One of the ways you can die here that happened to me pretty often is hitting your head, sorry. God, what am I doing? Right here. Just because you don't go far enough to the right. So just make sure you do this. So here, make sure you go to the very top before you do this jump. The rest of it, there's nothing really much to say. Oops. So given that this room is pretty late in the run, I would practice this one a lot just because you're probably so stressed out at this point that it really needs to be muscle memory. And there's no real strategy here, you just want to skill it out. And it pretty much goes like this. So this room, this B block room is probably one of the more annoying B-side B block rooms, at least that I've done. So practice this one a lot, for sure. Because there's no real strategy to it, you just have to get good at it. So straight, oh, okay, that was just dumb. Straight dash here, straight dash here. Diagonal dash here. Then, okay, what I like to do when I'm at the gem up there is I basically hold right and tap square right here. And it basically works out pretty well. Just mash square. So then get the gem. And what I prefer to do, there's kind of two ways to do it. You can kind of stay higher than the heart, and then you fall when it disappears, and you time your dash right. That's what I personally prefer. Or you can slide all the way down to next to the heart while the block is active, and then immediately dash when it disappears. But I tend to find that one a bit harder, so I prefer to do this. Oh, that was close. Alright, so I hope this helped. Yeah, there's not too many crazy strategies for this golden. It's pretty technical. But with enough practice, it should be pretty fine for most people. Even if it's a B-side. Alright, good luck.